Right, good evening everybody. Hope you can hear me okay. Welcome to my first live on injuries. This is going to be a little series I do every Wednesdays at 6 o'clock, covering a different topic each week. These will be about 10-15 minutes long, and we'll do a topic each week, different topic each week. So let me know in the comments below a topic you'd like me to cover, and I'll do my best to cover them. And we'll go through briefly and in detail go through your questions the best I can. So we've got about 6 points to go through today on injuries. Drop comments in live as I'm speaking. I'll do my best to read and go through them, but it's the first time I'm doing this, so it might not be perfect, but it'll be about 10-15 minutes, so we'll get straight into it. I'll upload this as well as a recording. I think Instagram lives get recorded anyway, so I'll upload this and I'll do some notes as well in the background for you to follow, and a bit more visual as well. So let's get straight into it. So number one is don't worsen or ignore it. So this is something that came up today on a match day. So we had a game midday today. I recently got a role at an academy locally in Milton Keynes as a strength and conditioning coach. So I don't know much about the current injury situation or the previous injury situation, but about 4 or 5 players either started the game with an injury, came off injured, and they shouldn't have been playing at all. You know, they shouldn't have even been in the match day squad. So from a practitioner's point of view, that's another big gap that we've got in terms of the technical coaches wanting the players to be available and ready to play for selection, and also from our point of view as the S&T coaches, the physios, making sure that they are actually ready and not rushing them back or playing them for the sake of playing them. So that's something that is a problem in the game. So, and it's quite hard to overcome, because you've got conflict of interest between the coaches and then the physios and the fitness coaches. So be honest. Honesty is the best policies for injuries, but a lot of players do just ignore it because they just want to be out on the pitch playing. But that's something that I work with daily, and try and drill into my players that they need to be honest. Yeah, and that linking into that with being honest, we can hit the problem on its head. So your coach, your physios, your S&T coaches will be able to plan, give you feedback on how you're progressing, getting back to playing, or even returning to train if that's your goal, if it's quite a more severe injury or long-term injury. So speak up and just be honest. Number 2 is consult a professional or doctor if it is something that's long-term, that's not recovering itself, or something that's playing in the back of your mind that is affecting you on even training or match days. So it doesn't matter if it's small, because small injuries over time can become worse and become long-term injuries. And trust me, you don't want long-term injuries, because they're the ones that are harder to get rid of. So hit them on the head while they're fresh, and also on that last point of being honest, it will help paint a picture for your physios, your doctors, whoever it may be, and to give you a good prescription for a training program. Next point. So we're going to go. Are there any questions? Not yet. Not that I can see. Okay, number 3 is staying positive and involved in your team. So it might sound obvious to stay positive. It's easier said than done, especially when you're injured. But the second part of it is staying involved with your team. So turning up to a match day or a training day is really important from a coach's point of view, because I'm seeing that you're turning up, you're still putting in the effort, and also subconsciously you're staying in my eye line. So you're easy to forget when you're not turning up for whatever reasons. Coaches, they might have 30, 40 players in a session, so it is easy to forget if a player's not turned up, if they've not said anything and just done a sly one. But keep turning up, and also it's a good opportunity for you to analyse the game from a tactical point of view. So when you're on the sidelines, ask yourself questions. What could I do to affect the game better in that situation that my teammate did or didn't do? So from a tactical point of view, it's also quite helpful, but also a motivational point of view, still getting up, turning up to a match day on time, and just being a part of the squad, and the environment is really important. Okay, we'll move on to the next one. Is number 4 is follow a proper rehab plan. So this links in with number 2, or whichever number it was, with getting a good or a relevant and a structured training rehab program. So be strict with yourself. Rehab is boring. There is no two ways about it. It is really boring. I've done it myself, but it needs to be done when you are injured. Even if you've been given 10 minutes to do of the most boring, simple, basic exercises, get them done, because then you're still ticking it off, and slowly building back up to return to play or return to train, whatever it may be, your goal. And also this way we can also track something. Progressive overload, really important principle of training. So yeah, follow a plan and stick to it. And if it gets too easy, that's a good sign. That means you're progressing, you're getting stronger, you're getting better. So that's where the progressive overload comes into it, and we increase the intensity, the reps, the sets, or even the difficulty of the exercises, and move on to something a bit more difficult. Number 5 is set realistic goals. Now you might be familiar with the acronym SMARTER. So we've got specific, making sure your goals are specific to you and the football player. Measurable, so can you track them? Linking in with the last point. Can you track the sets, the reps, the time? Those are the main 3 really. Achievable. Are realistic, which is similar to achievable. So setting goals that are realistic for you to get. And also so you're not getting demotivated if you don't hit them. So that's quite an important one, to set realistic goals. 5 is time bound, so measuring over a period of time. Set yourself a goal. Do I need to be back in time for pre-season in 2 months? So reverse engineer from where you want to be back if it is an out of season injury. In season is a bit more difficult because you don't want to rush it for the sake of rushing it. And next one is exciting. Bit more harder to make an injury plan, an injury rehab program exciting, but think about freshening up the exercises each week. Maybe do a week A and a week B, or alternate on days if it's if you've not got enough exercises. And the last one is R, relevant. So similar to the specific one, making sure it's relevant to you, the individual, because each injury might be the same, or you might have the same injury as your teammate, but you're going to have different pathways to get back to return to play, because each individual is different. Anatomically, physiologically, you've all got different requirements and thresholds. So know what your bodies can do, and set your targets and build your goals around that. And number 6, last one. So what can I do to increase my rehab? So this is a question I get asked quite a bit by players, and it's quite a blanket question. There's not really one thing that you can do that will tick every box and make your return to play or to training just like that. But there are 4 things which I say to everyone that's injured, that you can do. This is regardless of injury severity, timeout, injury history, whatever it is. These are 4 basic things that you can do whatever, whatever your injury is. And to be honest, it's important to get these right when you're not injured anyway. So thinking back to the prehab side of it, so mitigating the risk, which is reducing the risk of the injury before it's happened. These 4 things are really important in that as well. So number 1 is nutrition, getting the correct nutrition, balanced diet. There's no such thing as a bad food, if you like. Obviously, if you're having an unbalanced diet, that's when things become might be deemed bad. But making sure you're getting a balanced diet. The second one is hydration. This is one that goes over a lot of people's heads. You know, if you think about muscular contractions, we need different. We need hydration for these to happen efficiently. Number 3 is sleep. Again, think about when we're actually doing our recovering. So sleep, if you're getting 8 hours sleep a day, that's solid. But if you're not getting the required amount for your age group, then have a look at that, because that's when your body's breaking down all the nutrients and repairing, rebuilding, and doing its recovery. So that's an important one. And the last one is obviously exercise. Can you progressively overload and build your way slowly back towards return to play? That is all 6 ticked off. I believe we're decent on time. If you've got any questions, pop them in the box or in the comment section below. I'll give about 20-30 seconds for that. Otherwise, we'll wrap it up there and we'll be back next week. I'll upload this live tomorrow, or if it's not tomorrow, it'll be Friday latest. And I'll ask you what topic you want next. I think I've got one in mind, but we'll have a look. So I don't think there's any more questions. Thank you guys for watching and sticking around. Hope you found it useful, and I look forward to joining you in the next one. Thanks for watching, and see you next week.